Oh, hello, we're back. We're back to caves. It's caves again. There's birds. Birds don't belong in caves. Uh, hi. My apologies about the extended absence. Had what ended up being a very busy time there for a couple months. Where I wasn't playing much of any video games, and then by the time I was playing video games again, a whole other Zelda game came out. And I played all of that. And I needed a place to talk about that, because I need to yap about it somewhere. So now I'm back to this. We're gonna go look in this cave. And hopefully it's boring, so I have time to talk about the Echoes of Wisdom. A Legend of Zelda story. Here in North Hyrule Plain Cave. See, it's a plain cave. It's a very boring, mundane cave. It should be fine. I should have plenty of time to talk about stuff. Ooh, blizzard. Echoes of Wisdom was pretty good. I don't know. There's a lot of water in this cave. Oh, it's a Misco cave also. That means I'm gonna have lots of time to yap. Boy, how do we even get into it? Echoes of Wisdom was neat. Though I don't think I'm as hot on it as some folks. I've talked a little bit to some folks about how I have to remember how to play and talk at the same time. This is great. I spent the first half of playing Echoes of Wisdom, the new 2D Zelda game for the Nintendo Switch, thinking a lot about... Oh, I want all of this. Bye. Thinking a lot about what that game means to, like, the series The Legend of Zelda. To the point that, like, thinking about it metatextually probably got in the way of me enjoying the game for at least the first part of it. What is up there? Bombs. Can I grab that? Maybe. And I kind of had to, like, even take some time away from playing that game to kind of chill out a little bit and just enjoy the game for what it is. Can I climb this? And by the second half of the game, I can't climb this. It's going to be difficult. Hold on. By the second half of the game, I mellowed out with that a little bit and just was able to more just enjoy the game for what it is. Which is a pretty good Zelda game. That's not what I want. I need the frog pants. Frog shirt? Frog fuchsias? There you are. In terms of, like, what I mean by its meta place in the series and what its existence means for the series, I'm basically talking about... Let's keep this shirt on. How... there has been a real paradigm shift in what Zelda is. That I don't think is bad. I think it's just different. What you have... How far back do we go with this? How much cave do I have to talk about this? Oh, I gotta fight this guy. I can fight a guy and talk about this at the same time. Zelda, the original Zelda, Legend of Zelda, for the Nintendo Famicom, is a game that, like, they were kind of trying stuff out. I cannot pick up any more of those. Right, it's a game that's kind of born out of, I don't know how directly born out of, classic game adventure, but it's in that vein. Of, like, we're gonna present you with a world to run around, and you go into caves, because that's where the fun stuff is. I see frog. I see waterfall I can go behind. Oh, this is a good cave. This is a really good cave. Anyway, it's a game that exists. Original Legend of Zelda. Zelda 2 is a different kind of game because Zelda 2... please. Because every game became a side-scroll game there in the late 80s. Ask me about Ys 3 sometime. But by the early 90s, Nintendo's looking at Zelda and saying, okay, well, what does it mean for a game to be a Legend of Zelda game? What is that experience? What defines that? And they interrogated that and made Link to the Past, Triforce of the Gods, which is itself a pretty open game, but still establishes a lot of the norms going forward, specifically about you are going to play through a series of very intentionally designed dungeons where at some point you will obtain an item in that dungeon that will help you traverse it, and then getting that item allows you to access the next dungeon in this very intricate flowchart of sorts that feels really fun to play when it works really well. And again, Link to the Past maybe isn't the fullest extent of that, but what happens is Link to the Past does this model, this very, like, not manufactured, but this very, like, deliberate style of game where you're kind of generally doing things in a certain order to engage with the puzzles that the devs set out in front of you in a very set order. Link to the Past establishes that, and then immediately after that you get Link's Awakening and Ocarina of Time, which are further extensions of that. That, you know, in some regards do that more, do that better. And then everything going forward from there for the next decades is just variations on that. It's just other takes at that. Every 3D Zelda after Ocarina of Time for almost 2 decades is doing Ocarina of Time again. Every 2D Zelda is operating in that same mode because it's, you know, you go from Link's Awakening to the Oracles, which are built right out of Link's Awakening, to Minish Cap and those games, which are built out of that. And, like, I'm not making even a qualitative judgment exactly, but, like, that's just what Zelda is. So what you had is, to summarize that half of it, is that, you know, the devs who made Link to the Past looked back at the original Legend of Zelda and settled on, this is what Zelda is. And that's what Zelda was then, mostly, for the next several decades. Let's see what's in here. Oh! Oh, I love the shirt. Very glad to get that shirt. That's a critical shirt. I wore that shirt basically like my entire playthrough of the Breath of the Wild. Love it. Love it. That was a really easy Misco thing to find. I'm following. And so, what happens there, though, is eventually it feels apparent to some extent that they have almost taken that as far as it's going to go. And you start to see experimentation happen, where they're like, what else could a Zelda game be, right? Well, maybe I should get this frog and then find another cave and I can do the second half of this, because that'd be really fun to split this up into 2 episodes. Hey, frog. What is there just a hole that leads up there? Hang on, that's really cute. I think we might end this one, and I might go immediately find another cave to finish this thought. Because Because it's kind of boring if the video is literally just 20 minutes of me standing in a cave talking about my viewpoint on The Legend of Zelda. But maybe that'd be really irritating from the audience perspective? I don't know. Can I climb this? Oh, but I want to go up there really bad. Okay, we can... Hold on. We're gonna see some outside for a second, I apologize. I stopped doing this for a couple months and I forget everything about what I'm doing. There's just a hole there. That's really funny. That's really funny. There's just a hole. It's just like a... Hang on, I gotta think about this hole for a second. That doesn't happen. Why is that hole there? I don't... That's some, like, classic Zelda stuff. That is some extremely classic Zelda stuff, that there's just a hole that leads somewhere. Oh, Link said no more. Link was too tired of waiting. I didn't know that happens. Alright, well, I am, like, enamored with this hole. Look at it. It's just there. That's fantastic. Okay, I think that's it. When we return tomorrow, hopefully I find another boring cave, and then I will regale you with the second half of my greater Zelda franchise metatextual analysis, which is to say that after several decades of kind of doing the same thing, there was a shift. And we'll talk about it on the next cave.